Hello and welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another video. In this one it's Game Week 15 captaincy model. Now you'll notice that the Game Week 15 numbers, or some of them at least, are already on screen. Usually in these videos what we do is have a look at the previous week's numbers and see how they got on, but Game Week 14 was or is a midweek game week, which we are part of the way through now. I am not able to wait until Thursday evening until all of the games are done to record this video, so we're going to have to skip on the last week's review and get straight into the Game Week 15 numbers this week. I have done something a little bit different for this week because of that. The top three are blanked out for now. We'll talk about the bottom seven and then we'll reveal the top three and go through them. You can probably guess who the three players are, to be honest. There's three pretty big players missing, but we'll see what order they're in and what their expected points look like. But from the bottom up anyway, Jarrod Bowen is 10th for the second week running. He is one player who has played, so I'm recording this before the Wednesday games have started as well. So the only player in this list that has already played is Jarrod Bowen. He obviously played against Ipswich, lost 3-1, didn't get a goal involvement, didn't get a goal, didn't get an assist, but he did play very well. And he got an XGI of over 1. So, yeah, he was in amongst it, to be honest. I think that he is definitely a very good option against Wolves at home as well. There are 9 players that are better than him, according to the model, but I do think he's a very, very good option. Now, Trent Alexander-Arnold is at number 9. So one of the things I have seen is the lineups for the earlier games on Wednesday when I'm recording this. So I have seen that Trent Alexander-Arnold starts on the bench. That is obviously not good for Game Week 14, but that has got to be a good thing for his Game Week 15 minutes. So I think 80 is fine for that. With Everton away, that is a pretty good fixture. I mean, Merseyside derby is always kind of or any derby is kind of always a bit tricky to gauge how both teams will perform, but Trent Alexander-Arnold was brilliant against City, so wouldn't be surprised to see Liverpool and him to do very well against Everton. Son has Chelsea. Chelsea's defence isn't the best, but it's also not that bad. But Son and kind of Tottenham's attack is just they're so hit and miss, and it's always in the games when you think they're not going to do well that they do, like City, whereas the games that you think they're going to do well, like Ipswich, Crystal Palace, they just don't. So I still think Son's a good option, but there are plenty of better ones, like Ollie Watkins. Now, Ollie Watkins is probably due a rest at some point. When that comes, I'm not sure. It's tough to gauge when that's going to come. Southampton at home is potentially the time for it. Maybe Champions League, given that they're pretty likely to be qualified, but they will probably want to be in the top 8, which is quite achievable for them. So maybe not in the Champions League, but Southampton at home is a fixture where that might happen. But I don't think that there's any evidence to state that it will, so I've left his minutes pretty high. Obviously it's a ridiculous fixture. Southampton defence is terrible, so Watkins is a great option. Mbeumo, always high on this list. Newcastle at home isn't the easiest fixture, but it's also not too bad. We know that Brentford have been performing much better at home than away from home, so the expected points probably reflects this quite nicely. So if you still own him, then he is quite a good option. Bruno Fernandes has Nottingham Forest at home. Nottingham Forest defence has been good for a while now, although the last couple of weeks it hasn't been quite as good. So I think this is probably more down to the fact that Bruno Fernandes is on penalties, he plays a lot of minutes, and also that the United attack is just quite good in general. They do tend to score quite a few goals. United defence is not great, but United attack is pretty good. Saka in 4th has Fulham away. Now, again, the Fulham defence hasn't been particularly bad this season, and it's an away fixture, so that is likely the reason that he is not in the top 3. Although I can tell you that number 3 is only 0.01 points ahead of Saka, so there's really not much in it. But the Arsenal attack with Odegaard back is so much better. So Saka is of course a great option. If you do own Saka, or if you don't own Saka, then I would probably want to try and find a plan to get him, at least for game week 16, because from game week 16 onwards, Arsenal go on an unbelievable run of fixtures. So yeah, if you don't already have him, then do make sure you try and get him in. Let's look at the top 3 now. So Palmer is the one who is 0.01 above Saka, 5.34 expected points. He plays Tottenham away. Again, Tottenham's defensive numbers haven't been too bad this season, but historically and typically Tottenham aren't the best defensively. So especially given Chelsea, how good Chelsea are in attack at the moment, it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Chelsea put quite a few goals past them. The only problem is it is an away game, which is obviously not great, but most of the top teams have away games in game week 15. You can see on screen here, Liverpool play away, Arsenal play away, City play away, and Chelsea play away. So there's not many home teams to choose from really. But yeah, Palmer is good, probably you can see roughly equal with Saka there. Haaland is in second with Palace away, but he is quite far behind Salah in first. Now, Crystal Palace haven't been good this season, so yeah, that is a good fixture for Haaland, of course. But we know that the way City are playing at the moment, their form is horrendous. So whether you want to captain him or not, whether you've even still got him in your team or not, I mean, some people really don't anymore. I don't have him in my team, so I don't have this decision. But yeah, he is probably not in loads of teams anymore. And if people own Salah, then they're much more likely to captain him than Haaland. Also, I haven't seen the result of the Wednesday fixture for City against Forest, so I'm speaking before that. And then Salah is obviously top with Everton away. I think that was probably expected this game week. I think that Haaland has Crystal Palace away, which isn't a bad fixture. Palmer and Saka do have slightly tough fixtures this week. Tottenham away and Fulham away aren't easy. If either of them had easier fixtures, then there would potentially be a case for not captaining Salah. But Everton away, it's mainly actually just Salah and Liverpool's form. Liverpool are the best team in the league at the moment. Arsenal are probably just there in second, but Liverpool are the best team in the league at the moment. So why back against them? Why back against Salah when he's got 6 double-digit returns in his last 8? Again, this is before the midweek game. But yeah, he is quite far ahead of Haaland in second. So if you own Salah, he's the one to go for. That's all for this one. If you like the video, hit like, hit subscribe. Let me know if you think I've got any of the expected minutes wrong in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one.